You know, when we picture profound insight, often we imagine a lone figure, like Siddhartha Gautama finding enlightenment under the Bodhi tree.
Right, that classic image.
But here's where it gets really transformative, I think. For a profound teaching to truly last, it needs more than just a brilliant teacher and, well, the teaching itself.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs a living, breathing structure.
Exactly.
And today, we're taking a deep dive into precisely that, the establishment of the Sangha, the monastic community. This is the crucial third jewel in the Buddhist tradition.
Right. And our mission for you today as we explore this is to really get that this wasn't just like a casual get-together of followers.
Not at all.
This was deliberate, incredibly wise, actually, creating this resilient structure designed from the ground up to, preserve, practice, and propagate the Dhamma.
That all-encompassing truth and the path to liberation.
Yeah, exactly, for generations to come.
It really became the bedrock, didn't it?
Yeah.
The foundation upon which the entire Buddhist tradition was built. Like a beacon for anyone seeking liberation.
A beacon. I like that. It ensures the truths the Buddha found could reach way beyond his own lifetime. So let's unpack this. Where did it start? The very first seeds of the Sangha. They were sown pretty much immediately after the Buddha's first sermon at Sarnath, right?
That's right, right away.
Can you paint a picture of that initial moment for us?
Sure. So you have the Buddha giving this first teaching, and Kondañña, one of the 5 ascetics who'd practiced with him before.
Okay.
He was the first to gain insight from that teaching. Then very quickly, the other 4 ascetics followed suit: Pariya, Vapa, Mahanama, and Asaji.
The original group.
The original group. These 5 became the very first members of the Bhikkhu Sangha, the mendicant order. And they received direct ordination from the Buddha himself.
It really strikes me, reading about it, how incredibly simple their admission was. The Buddha just said, bhikkhu, which means what? Come, monk.
Just that. Come, monk.
Wow. With just those 2 words, they were in, accepted into the renunciant life. No big rituals, no complex ceremonies.
Nothing like that.
Just pure acceptance onto the path. What does that simplicity tell us about the Buddha's vision right from the start?
Well, that simplicity wasn't just, efficient. It subtly encoded a core principle.
Okay.
The path was open to anyone ready to commit. It wasn't about elaborate rituals or, importantly, the social barriers you saw in other spiritual paths back then.
Ah, right. Caste and things like that.
Exactly. It set this precedent for inclusivity. Personal readiness mattered more than your lineage or your status, which was utterly revolutionary for its time.
Yeah, you can see that. And this initial group of 5, well, it didn't stay at 5 for long, did it?
Oh, not at all. It expanded rapidly. Really rapidly.
How quickly are we talking?
Within just a few months, word spread like wildfire. Many, many more joined, including some notable figures like Yasa and his 54 friends.
54 friends, wow.
Yeah, all seeking the same thing, that profound liberation the Buddha spoke of.
So, okay, the community is growing fast, but let's step back. Lots of great teachers have had profound insights, but their movements, they often just fade away after they pass.
True.
What specific elements of the Sangha's structure were designed to protect the Dhamma from that? Why couldn't it just be passed along individually, teacher to student?
That's an excellent question, a really crucial one. The Sangha served as these dedicated custodians of the Dhamma.
Custodians, okay.
But what's truly remarkable isn't just that they preserved the teachings, but how they did it. They built this decentralized, resilient network of living practitioners.
They're not just memorizers.
No, much more. Monks and nuns committed their whole lives to memorizing, yes, but also practicing and accurately transmitting these teachings. It wasn't like a top-down religious institution. Think of it more like a self-correcting organism.
Huh. Interesting analogy.
Designed to adapt and endure across different cultures, different centuries. It's almost like a blueprint for longevity in any kind of system, really.
And it strikes me, too, it wasn't just about, preserving words on a scroll, was it?
No, not at all.
The Sangha literally embodied the teaching. They provided this living example of the Noble Eightfold Path.
Exactly right. By choosing to live simply, dedicating themselves to meditation, sticking to the precepts, they were demonstrating that the Dhamma wasn't just some philosophy to chat about.
Yeah.
It was a practical, actionable path. Something that leads to real, genuine inner transformation. You could actually see it in action, living and breathing.
And that community environment itself must have been key. It created this ideal space for spiritual development, didn't it? Allowing people to just fully immerse themselves in the practice, free from so many of the usual worldly distractions.
Absolutely, which is crucial for deep meditative states and insight.
That deep focus on practice was key.
Yeah.
Indispensable, really.
But, okay, how did the Buddha make sure that this dedicated community wouldn't end up, isolated or financially vulnerable? Which leads us to this ingenious self-sustaining model you mentioned. Indeed, the Sangha was specifically designed to be self-sustaining. It was supported by the lay community, primarily through alms offerings of food, robes, medicine, shelter.
So the monastics didn't have to, get jobs.
Exactly. This freed them up to focus purely on preserving, practicing, and teaching the Dhamma, without needing to engage in worldly trades or farming or things like that.
When you think about it, imagine how precarious a profound teaching would be if it depended only on, say, the goodwill of a particular king.
Right, or the mood of a rich merchant.
Exactly. Fleeting generosity. But the Buddha's design for the Sangha, it feels like a stroke of genius, creating a system that was kind of immune to political shifts or economic downturns.
Yeah, largely resilient.
A resilient structure designed almost for eternity.
That foresight meant the tradition wouldn't be dependent on any single external factor indefinitely. It could keep going.
Okay, so you have this community focused on practice, supported by the laity. But to ensure that longevity and also the purity of the practice, the Buddha established this code of conduct, the Vinaya.
The Vinaya, yes.
Now, this sounds like it could be quite rigid, maybe restrictive. How did the Buddha ensure it fostered liberation and not just, conformity? Were there ever tensions or debates about applying it? And how did they sort those out?
That's a very perceptive question. Because rigid control isn't really the right way to think about the Vinaya. Not at all.
Okay.
It was profoundly pragmatic. Its purpose was really about fostering harmony, purity, clarity within the community.
Harmony, okay.
It gave clear guidelines for conduct, speech, livelihood, but specifically aimed at minimizing potential conflicts, things that could disrupt practice.
So it supported meditation rather than hindered it.
Exactly. It was about creating the optimal conditions for practice, not imposing some external dogma.
And what's fascinating is how pragmatically these rules developed. They weren't all handed down on day one, were they?
No, definitely not. Rules were often established incrementally, as specific issues or situations actually arose within the community.
It almost sounds like the Buddha was the original agile project manager.
You could sort of see it that way.
Releasing rules iteratively as bugs showed up in the system.
It was certainly responsive. This allowed the Sangha to adapt over time while still maintaining its core principles.
And this structure, this Vinaya, it protected everyone involved.
Yes, that incremental development protected both the monastics and the lay community. It ensured the Sangha remained a respected and virtuous example, worthy of that lay support. For instance, you have the Payamukha. That's the core set of disciplinary rules.
Payamukha.
It was recited regularly, usually twice a month, by the monastics together. It served as this communal act of self-reflection and purification, really essential for maintaining internal integrity and transparency.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So beyond its internal structure, how did the Sangha really function as a refuge for the lay followers? This is where that third jewel idea really shines, isn't it?
Absolutely. The Sangha provided that crucial third jewel alongside the Buddha, the Enlightened One, and the Dhamma, the teaching that lay followers could take refuge in.
What did that look like in practice?
It offered guidance, teaching, inspiration. Monastics became accessible teachers and spiritual friends. You could go to them with questions for counsel.
So it made the Dhamma tangible, personal.
Exactly. Tangible and personal for people navigating their everyday lives, not some abstract thing far away.
And it was genuinely a two-way street, wasn't it, this relationship?
Oh, completely reciprocal. Lay followers, in turn, supported the Sangha with those material needs we talked about: food, robes, shelter, medicine.
And this act of giving, this dana, it wasn't just charity, it created merit for the lay community too, right?
Yes, it was seen as a way to cultivate generosity and connect with the Dhamma, thereby creating merit or positive karma for themselves, while also ensuring the Dhamma continued to exist and be taught. It was a beautiful vision of interdependence.
It really is.
This symbiotic relationship, monastics preserving and teaching, lay community providing support, it was absolutely vital for Buddhism to flourish. It truly made it a path for everyone, whether you were ordained or not, by weaving it right into the fabric of society.
So when we pull this all together, what does it really mean for us? It seems clear the establishment of the Sangha was just as crucial in its own way as the Buddha's enlightenment itself.
I think you could definitely argue that. It transformed a singular personal awakening into a living, breathing tradition, one that's endured for, over 2.5 millennia now?
Incredible.
It ensured that the Dhamma wasn't just, a historical event locked away in some ancient text somewhere.
Right, not a museum piece.
No, but a continuous, accessible path for liberation. Supported by this dedicated community of practitioners, the Sangha truly is a priceless jewel.
A priceless jewel. That sums it up well. And maybe here's a thought for you listening to consider. How can this idea of wholesome companionship, of community, how can that support your own journey, whatever path you happen to be on?
That's a great point.
It makes me think about how even in our modern lives, surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, people who support our positive efforts, it can really amplify things.
Absolutely. It provides encouragement, perspective.
It's not just a Buddhist principle, is it? It feels like a deeply human one. Finding your Sangha, whatever that looks like for you.
Well said.
Yeah.
That sense of community and mutual support is powerful.